Hello everyone, hope we're doing well. We're all on the bus, right? Lots of content today, but we're nearly there, right? We're nearly there, so stick with it. How great was it to hear from future talent and current talent in terms of what they want from a work experience? So over the next, and hypersonic is not the best part of our game, so we won't get into that, right? But over the next 20 minutes, what we've heard a lot about is the importance of building a strong work culture, and then the opportunity then to send signals out to the talent market based on the culture you've built up. But we know a really good employer brand comes from the work that you do internally in terms of your work culture, right? So we're going to take you on a bit of a journey in terms of Hilti as an organization, a really, really cool project that they have done. We're going to go through kind of the ins and outs of that project, and then begin to think, you know, how do we kind of turn that or flip that in terms of the talent retention and attraction piece. So Esther, we'll start with yourself in terms of an introduction and your role with Hilti.
Okay, hello everybody. I am Esther, working in Hilti Ireland since August 2024. 18 years in this great company, starting in Hilti Spain, in Madrid, and moving to Hilti Mexico, and after that from Hilti Mexico to Dublin.
Thank you, Esther. And Dennis?
Yeah, hello folks, and I can only endorse, super to hear from
so good.
the last session, really great, and admire the honesty. It's exactly what we need to hear, so appreciate it. Dennis Markey obviously is my name. Unlike Esther, I'm a bit of a homebird, so I'm with Hilti 26 years, but Hilti Ireland. Gone through quite some change in that period. We're in the construction industry. Maybe I share a little bit about Hilti because I think a lot of the audience maybe doesn't know. So Hilti is a global organization headquartered in Liechtenstein, operating across over 120 countries in the world, turnover around 6 billion. Here in Ireland, we have about 160 people, and 80% of those are in the field, out in sales function, really. Me, myself, in those 26 years, I've worked in sales, training, operations, and marketing. Our business is we provide solutions, hardware, service, software solutions to construction professionals. I was speaking to someone at the break there. It's not the DIY market. It's not in that space. It's really partnering with construction professionals.
Great, thanks for that, Dennis. And 26 years with Hilti. Up until last week, like myself, you were a lifelong suffering Irish soccer supporter. Things changed, right?
Yep.
Yeah? That deserves a round of applause. Come on, what a week we've had, right, in terms of the mood of a nation. I think we find out soon who we have, but I'm conscious of time. It's quite soon, isn't it? We're going to find out, right? It's now, is it? Okay. Let's get it live up on the screen, right? Dennis, Hilti global organization, right? Not the DIY market. Give us a sense as to how kind of strategy is set within the organization from a global, and then how that moves in at a local level in terms of Hilti Ireland.
Sure. Well, obviously, if an organization is running across over 120 countries, and you're working with a group strategy, they have to design a strategy where the business model is more or less the same across each market. Some markets are more mature than others. Some have the full value proposition. Some are maybe at an earlier stage. Hilti Ireland is present in Ireland now 60 years, so we celebrate our 60th birthday this year. The organization was formed in 1941. So the model is well refined, let's say, but as it's evolved, if you look across the 120 countries, what I've always felt here is you need to take that as your framework, but you also need to customize. You need to adapt it to the local market, your local environment. And I think when we look here at the group strategy pillar, and then at the same time we look at the people side of things, we heard a lot this morning about, like a lot of, we heard earlier, I think it was Magda was talking about the strategy document and not to make it too complex. Like there's a certain simplicity here, and I'm sure everybody that's working in the HR function has similar pillars that they work on. I think what's important when you get down to a local level is how do you deploy that?
Of course.
What does that look like? And there was conversations earlier about what does value look like. And you really need to get into the nuts and bolts of the local organization. And, you know, obviously everybody's been working on the likes of DEI for many years now. And as we've grown and as we've pushed forward with that agenda, we now have a bigger team than we've ever had, and also a much more diverse team than we've ever had. And also, I think in the last couple of years, we noticed post-COVID that people's relationship with work was changing. And it's not just as simple as work-life balance. There's a bit more to that. And if you have
Thursday nights are a big night.
Clearly,
yeah.
Okay, noted. But there's a much more diverse set of needs. Someone else was talking earlier about having many different generations.
Yep.
Again, that comes with different needs. You know, for us, one of the big pieces about adapting, how do you actually find that evolution in the strategy and customization for the local market? How do you design that without, and we heard it lots this morning as well, without listening?
Yep.
And then before you can listen, often, because people are a bit shy with some of these things, but we have plenty of people that are maybe not quite as honest as you guys yet, but plenty of people that are honest, but a lot of others need to be invited.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the Aurora Project, which is a local project, so it doesn't sit necessarily as part of the group strategy, although I think the group might adopt certain parts of it and roll out across the globe. The deployment part was really important. So we said, okay, what would happen if we just had a forum where we really showed the people, the team, down to every individual in the team, we want to ask you.
Yep.
We want to just ask you. And before we ask you, we give you a heads up in our town. We have a monthly town hall. One of the town halls, we say, look, this is coming. We want to work on this. The reason we want to work on it is because we feel we need a certain customization. And with that, we're going to ask you at the next town hall. Sorry, no, we're going to invite you to a session, an independent session for it. In the meantime, go and talk to your family or loved ones, whoever. Talk to your network that you have. Find out what other organizations are doing that would actually resonate as value for you and that you would like to propose for us to consider.
Okay.
So we did that. We went into workshop mode with the whole organization, broke them out into different cross-departmental groups, invited their ideas. We said, look, be as crazy as you like, but just heads up in advance. Not everything will be doable, but you know, we'll take everything through some sort of feasibility test.
Yeah.
And then we'll come out at the back end with your ideas, and we'll look to frame that then.
I want to come back to bring you back in right around the involving people with their ideas, right? Because that's absolutely the right thing to do. And then I'm curious of the mindset of the leadership team and when you in terms of deciding to do that. But Esther, I'll bring you in, and just in terms of the Aurora project in itself. So give people a sense, right? So strategy, we're localizing the strategy. We now have our culture, which is we always had, which is really important to us if we want to achieve this strategy. We've decided as a leadership team that rather than present the culture framework, the work we're going to do in a pre-packaged, marketed program, we're going to involve and listen to our people. So give people a sense from there.
Thank you for the question, because I think that is the core part of Aurora. Aurora is the voice of our employees. So it's from the bottom to the top. So it's not about a decision of the leadership team. It's asking to the 161 employees of Hilti Ireland what they want, what is the employee value proposition of the future. It's exactly which benefits you are looking for, what type of flexibility you want to. So at the end, we ask them. We take 91 different initiatives. We cluster that initiatives linked to 4 criteria: quick wins, cost, time, and impact for all, because we needs to be applied across the country, including North of Ireland. So that means that that initiatives needs to be applicable for everybody. After that, we cluster the 60 initiatives because some of them were not possible to go ahead. So we explain to the employees why it's not possible to move forward with that initiative, and we give back information about the why. And as soon as we start with the project, if you move to the next slide, please, you will see
Esther, yeah.
that we create 4 work streams. The first one was related to extension of benefits. So we create a platform. In that platform, we include health benefits, financial benefits, tax savers, many dental coverage that was something really people was demanding in the medical insurance. And at the end, after that, this platform we launched, 92% of our employees are using it each month. The second work stream was related to work-life balance. So what we did is to create different initiatives. Now, the day of your birthday is a Saturday off, or we have early Friday exit when we have a bank holiday on Monday. So that means that we are providing more benefits that the people was asking for us. And with that, we launched the employee manual in May to provide all the information to all of us. The third work stream was related to merit and bonus, or performance and rewarding recognition. So what we did in this work stream was an extraordinary merit round with a 6% salary average for everybody. And at the end, what we did is to try to include the external benchmark, because we are a construction sector company. So we include the tech companies, we include the pharma companies that are super present in this great country. And at the end, we move forward with a really good salary increase for our employees. And the second one, the bonus harmonization, was a really huge, big one that yesterday we have 35 one-to-ones with all the people in back office communicating the new bonus scheme they're going to have, consolidating the guarantee bonus in the base salary. So at the end, that is the third work stream. And the fourth, last but not least, is something that the people was asking us, like the graduates, for social events, opportunities to be with their peers. So we did the summer party, we did the 60th anniversary of Hilti in Ireland, we did a kickoff, we put a new coffee machine, something really easy, but at the end, so necessary around the canteen, free, where you can choose the coffee you want, the fruit you deserve. So at the end, these type of things that create that environment where everybody can belong a little bit more to Hilti.
And that decision then to say, rather than we build a program and we present it, we're going to get involved in this deep listening conversation. There's a risk to that in terms of, not every idea is a great idea and all of that. I mean, what sort of conversations did you have internally, Dennis, before you decided to go down that route of deep listening and ownership?
Well, I think, we've worked with you guys for a number of years now. We've normally ranked quite high, so we feel like we have a good level of engagement from the team already. Yep. So, that typically is only a result of a certain honesty and transparency in the organisation anyway. So we were reasonably confident that, we wouldn't get completely crazy, ridiculous expectations. Okay. Yep. So there was a level of comfort there, but also we wanted to make a bit of a step change, actually. We wanted to go from, mid-70s, let's say, in our rankings up to 90s, both in Great Place to Work rankings and our own internal employee opinion survey. So we said, there's a lot changing in the last years, outside and inside Hilti. So, maybe just copy and pasting what we think is right, or taking our interpretation of the group strategy and just rolling that out. Probably not the sensible thing to do. Yeah. So it wasn't that long a conversation, to be honest.
Because the trust was built up, you had it.
Yeah. You're coming from a decent starting point already, and you've been able to be quite transparent in the last years. So that also affords you the opportunity to be transparent in the conversation of, look, come with your crazy ideas, fine, and we'll give you a reason why. And there's a certain investment, obviously, because you have to take the time to explain that. Yep. As someone else mentioned this morning as well, the importance of the managers. So, like our managers that are managing the different team members, making sure that they were briefed on what we were trying to do in a proper way, facilitating them with the right language as well, and to be able to listen and not just push this down, I think was very important as well. But the discussion, I think once we had the initial discussion, we were like, yeah, this actually could do something.
And when the trust is in the bank there, it's easier to do those things. One of the things that I always found really interesting being in with the leadership team presenting the results is the focus that you have around performance. And this balance you have of, is it high care, high performance?
Not a balance. That's the trick. It's about we want to max out on care.
Yeah.
And we want to max out on performance.
Love that.
So it's not a balance. It's not a scales. Yeah. I think it was Alex mentioned earlier. Transparency. This is going to be a tough place, but you know what? We'll look after you, and the value will be there for you because people if you want to have a talented organization, talented people want to perform, but can they be helped to grow? And sometimes some of the, and I know personally, some of the toughest conversations I had as a receiver of the tough feedback, so long as it's done in the right way, then you realise that it's coming from a place of care.
Of course.
So that actually hits both bars, if you like, of care and perform, because someone wants to see you fulfil your potential.
Of course.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, this topic, because you mentioned transparency. Aurora, if we ask to our employees, they are going to give you a single answer. Aurora is clarity. So what are you expecting from me and what I want from the company? So Aurora is to have a clear understanding about what the company offers you and what are your targets, for example, my contribution targets, my development opportunities, how I pay, so my variable, how is it going to have the impact on my performance there. So Aurora, it's about you. That means what you need to do your job and what the company can give to you. And that is the main core of Aurora.
And this has been a really successful approach in terms of the trust is in the bank. We leverage that trust. We involve in listening. Do people appreciate then the end result a bit more, or do they connect with it more?
So the results of Aurora has been amazing.
Yeah.
And in terms of, results in terms of retention, for example, we have increased 35% of retention. Now we have 95% overall in Hilti Ireland, taking in consideration that 50% of our employees are in the field, our sales force. We have increased not only that, we have calculated how much that impact in the P&L, so it's more than 500,000 euros because we have 25 exits less. It's interesting because linked to that retention and linked to that clarity, we have covered 100% our territories in the field. So the challenge related to how I am going to find talent, at the end, retain the great talent you have, instead of trying to put the machine on to attract others. And what is interesting is that we did a global employee opinion survey in last August. The results arrived last week, and we have increased 70 points since last year. We are the #1 with 90% of score, engagement score in Europe. And it's the first time Hilti Ireland.
In Europe.
Yeah.
I think that deserves a round of applause. So, investment and connection, conversation, engagement and trust increases, and the business impact is there for everybody to see, right? Just before we begin to think about the external market in terms of talent, is there anything you would have done differently if you were to do it again? Any lessons learned?
I think Aurora is a journey. So now we are working in moving from Aurora to the North Star. We are moving from the clarity of care to the clarity of performance.
Okay.
So now we have more journey about Aurora, and it's going to be around clarity in targets, clarity in reward, clarity in my development expectations, clarity in... So the clarity concept, I think it's what everybody is expecting. I think it's like if you have a child, he's going to ask for clarity about if he can go out the weekend or not, no? Or if your kid can go to the party. Exactly the same here. It's the clarity to, because the conclusion after 1.5 years here in Ireland, working with Dennis and with my team that they are sitting there, Laura and Barry, it's that, and they are part of Aurora, they are done a great job, and I ask for applause for them.
Well done. And Barry, we still don't know if you would actually hire yourself, but we'll chat about that later. Right?
Oh, he would.
He would hire. He would hire himself. Okay.
So at the end, you know, clarity. That concept is so big, and so that is more than a lesson learned of Aurora. Is how we can continue growing together with our employees, moving from Aurora to the North Star, from the clarity of care to the clarity of performance.
Brilliant. Thank you, Esther. And Dennis, any lessons learned or thoughts?
One could be, why didn't we do it earlier?
Okay.
But then at the same time, sometimes these things come to you at the right moment. So we maybe wouldn't have had as high a level of trust. So I think you have to build up certain foundations before you can open it up as well. Yep. And you have to make sure that your management team has the skill set required to actually do it as well. Because it's all very well for the leadership team to sit around and come up with a great idea and then say, okay, let's go. But I think there's a bit of work in the background there as well with all the managers. But no, I think it'll be interesting now when we go to this next phase, because when we talk about maxing out on care, I think we're close to maxing out on care at the moment. And performance of the team is very strong for the last years. But you know what it's like in a sales organization, we go again, we go again.
New target.
Yeah, so I think the next phase will be an interesting phase, but I think we get a lot of confidence from what we hear. You know, the results we've had and great place to work results we've had now as well put us in great shape.
Max on performance and max on care.
Everyone likes to win.
Yep.
And everyone wants to develop and get taken care of at the same time, you know? So it's fair.
Brilliant. Esther, then it's been a pleasure working with you over the last number of years, and just to see the commitment you have as a leadership team to listening to your people and making those improvements. Thanks a lot for joining us today. Thanks, folks.